morning, everybody. What a great morning it is. Beautiful morning. 50 degrees. Whatever. It's better than 30, right? But it is a glorious day. The sun is shining. There's some clouds in the air, as you can see, but nothing that seems threatening at this point. Morning, Andy. Let me tell you, if you were not here this weekend, you missed a fun time. There's only 2 people in here now, so let me wait until some more get in before I start rubbing it in your face. What you missed. What you missed. Luckily, videos will come out of the event, so you'll be able to see that. Good morning, Donald. Good morning, Eric. Good morning, Dolls. Good morning, Francis. How are you? Okay, there we got 10. All right, 10's a good start. All right, so good morning, Brad. So this weekend, as you know, we had the 30th anniversary festivities for the movie Gettysburg. Tom Berenger was in town. Stephen Lang was in town. Who else? Let's see. Bo, of course, was here. John Rothman, who played Reynolds, was here. Brian Mallon. Brian Mallon was here. Patrick Gorman was here. Joseph Fuqua was here. James Patrick Stewart was here. Billy Campbell was here. Who else? I'm gonna forget somebody, I know, but they don't care. James Lancaster was here. Dale Fetzer was here, the military choreographer. Of course, Ron Maxwell was here. Max Caulfield, who I didn't know was British. Did not know that. And I think Patrick Falsey was here, and I think that rounds it out. So Friday, I went to, I did one of these videos Friday morning, and then I went to my usual stop at Gettysburg Baking Company. And it's like 8:45 in the morning, and I'm like, the hotel's right there. They're all staying at the hotel. Maybe somebody's loitering in the lobby. Let me just go over and see. So I walk over, and coming from the direction of the Wills house, I see Brian Mallon and James Lancaster. And I've picked them up and given them rides back to the airport when they were in town shooting stuff for the Trust. So, you know, I kind of know them. I've had a couple of encounters with Brian, interviewed him, etc. So I went over and said hi to them real quick. And then they were going in for something, so I didn't keep them long. And then I start walking towards the Wills house. Because then I saw Ron Maxwell walk by me as I was finishing with James and Brian. And then I hear my name, Matt Callery. And I look, and it's Gary Edelman, right coming over the crosswalk from the Wills house. And he's standing with Tom Berenger. And he turns to Tom and he says, "He interviewed you." And then Tom goes, "Oh, Matt." And I walk over, he puts out his hand, I shake his hand, "Hello, how you doing?" Talk a little bit about his dog. And then they had to go move on to something else. And at that point, there were other people coming, but I didn't give a flying crap who they were. I was like, all right, I met Tom, that's it. So I got back to my car, and then I went about my day. I feel like I did something else. So apparently I didn't understand. I had a media pass, so I could have gone to the press conference they had that morning, but I didn't go because I didn't. First of all, I didn't realize I had a media pass that got me into it until, because, I get a ton of emails and people, they write a bunch of nothing sticks in my brain. This is why I miss Eric, because Eric was really good at keeping at saying, okay, now you got to do this, now you got to do that, and then boom, 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 move me along. So now that I'm left to my own devices, I'm lucky I remember I'm invited to any. So I missed the press conference. Apparently, I don't know why, but everybody kept coming up to me saying, "Where were you this morning? Where were you this morning?" And I didn't know people would be looking for me. I don't know why. Maybe they're friends of mine, so maybe that was what it was. So missed the press conference. That afternoon, John Rothman was signing. That's right. Okay, so John Rothman was signing autographs at the Dobbin House. And so after that, he was going to come to the studio to do an interview, which is on YouTube now. And I must apologize to John for the horrible lighting on his face. I should have put him in the other chair. But Dale Fetzer was with us also, and he had just gotten out of the hospital. He was walking with a cane, and I was more concerned about his comfort. And I said, here, Dale, you sit in the comfortable chair. I should have switched the chairs with the locations. Really what I need to do is get another chair. But anyway, that's neither here nor there at this moment. So we do the interview with John and Dale. And then after that, I don't remember what I did. I don't think I did anything else that night. Yeah, I didn't, because the next morning I had my panel to do. And I was very nervous about the panel. I wasn't nervous about, I don't know what I was nervous about. Well, I think I was nervous because I had to be there at 8:15 and we were slated to go on at 9. And I, as you know from watching these videos, I'm not a morning person. And I was afraid that my grumpiness would interfere with my performance. And so that's what I was nervous about. I also thought I was nervous because, well, I've interviewed these guys multiple times. I already asked the questions I was interested in. First and foremost, when I interview people I'm interested in or who have something interesting to talk about. Otherwise, it's hard for me to do it, right? And so I didn't really have any questions to prepare. On top of that, there's the whole strike business. And with the strike, the actors are limited. There's these goofy rules. The main rule is you can't promote anything. And I read the SAG website, and the rules for this type of a thing were that as long as it's not put on by as I understand it, by the way, I might lose you here because I always do in this spot. So hold on a second. So far, so good. If I get back into it, I know it's going to go. I'll lose the connection. Anyway, let's just pretend it's not going to go out. So I had to read a disclaimer, and we had to, basically that said, because of this thing, they have to be careful about what they say. But John Rothman, as he explained it, he's on the negotiation committee, and so he explained, they're not allowed to promote a movie, but his interpretation is, we're not promoting it. These people here already bought and saw the movie probably 1 million times over, so there's nothing to promote. We're just talking about the movie. And also, I don't know. So anyway, so I get out there, and here's what I was nervous about most. I was given a script to read. Now, I don't mind reading a script. I don't have a problem reading. I don't like reading a script that aren't my words, that I didn't put together. And I didn't want to reword it because, I figured, well, this was written for a specific reason in these words, and it was written by the ACHS, and I didn't want to ruffle any feathers there by not reading it or changing the words. So I read it, verbatim. It's not the way I speak. It's not necessarily what I would have said, whatever. So I was I don't know why I was nervous about that, but I was nervous about that. And I walked out and I could not catch my breath. I couldn't catch my breath. I don't understand why. It's not like I haven't been in front of an audience before. It wasn't that. I introduced the guys. They came out. We got up on the dais. And I don't remember who said what first, but one of them made a joke, and everybody, laughed. And then my nerves completely went away, and I had the best time sitting and talking with them. I only looked at my notes once, and that was to remember the name of a movie that Stephen Lang and Tom Berenger were in the 90s. Because for some reason, I always forget the name of the movie. It's called An Occasional Hell. You can find it on YouTube. So it was a little trivia question for the audience. All the other notes I had, I didn't even bother with. We were given some questions that were kind of like safe questions or safe ways to ask questions to fit in with the SAG thing. But I had bumped into Gary earlier, and we were talking about it, and he said, well, I'm just kind of rewording those questions. And I was like, well, I didn't want to do that, because then everybody's going to get the same thing. I don't know what everybody else did. I didn't see all of the panels. So I'm like, you know what? I know these guys. That's the one advantage I have, I think, over anybody else that was doing it, is like a lot of these people I interviewed at least once. And I have a rapport with them already, and, I keep in touch with them, some of them, and they're very friendly, and, they treat me well. And so I was like, I don't need to go off of notes. I'm just going to talk to my buddies. And then they were talking with each other, and, it's just freaking hilarious. We got a lot of good compliments afterwards, and it just made me feel good. And it was just the highlight of my week, probably the year, to be honest with you, and professionally at least. And yeah, it's so much fun. So then after that, I don't remember what I did. What did I do? Oh, I guess I kind of flitted around from thing to thing. Saw John John's collection of memorabilia from the movie. Some guy stole the cover that had all the autographs of the actors. Right there. I mean, it was like on display for all. I don't know why. I said to John later, I'm like, why did you just leave it out on a table like that? That's kind of reckless. And he obviously. And but it was just that he had a full original script, and all the actors autographed the cover. So he put the cover out on a table next to a jacket that he was auctioning off for the museum. And as you might have seen on Facebook, some douche nozzle decided that he was going to swipe the thing under the security cameras. They know who he is. They know his name. He was not a very good criminal. He actually, apparently, according to John, there's footage of him walking into the room where all the other stuff was displayed, just holding it in his hand. Pretty freaking brazen, if you ask me. But they've apparently offered, return it within X amount of time, and we won't press charges. So we'll see how that goes. I'll see if I can get John to come on the phone this Thursday to talk about it. Anyway, then later, I did something in the afternoon. Oh, they had the screening for the movie. Yeah. So I went to the screening. It's 4.5 hours. It was the director's cut. I've seen it 100 times. So about, half hour, 45 minutes into the movie, we went out, went home, let the dog out, spent some time with her because we knew we were going to go out again later. And then we did an old trick, apparently, that actors do, according to what Bo told me, was you come back in time for the end of the movie, so it looks like you sat there the whole time. But it's great to watch that movie with an audience. It just is. It's just great. It's great to sit with other people and watch it, because obviously people's watching experiences are different. And here's what I mean. I've seen it a million times. I think I might have chuckled once, and it was like when Chamberlain says because there's no muskets available for the second main guys, a couple of the second main guys, and he thinks for a second and he says, wait around for a while, some will become available, or something like that. And it's a fact. It's the odds are that's true. It's kind of a macabre joke. I don't know if I ever really chuckled at any of the other ones, but listening to the audience react to the movie, it's interesting to see how people take it. I always approach the movie very seriously and almost reverently, like with a reverence for what it's depicting and the real people that they're depicting. Whereas apparently other people find it to be a movie that you can laugh and cheer at. I don't know. It was also nice too to see when the actors. At first, I thought it was when the actors who were in the room appeared on the screen for the first time, people would applaud them, which is polite and nice to do. But then there were actors who weren't even there, some that aren't even on this planet anymore, when they would appear. Now that I could understand, it's clapping in their memory. But like, for example, Jeff Daniels wasn't there, but he got claps anyway. Martin Sheen did not show up. I think he was actually scheduled, but something had come up in the meantime, and he didn't come, which was a very big disappointment. And but during the panel, my panel with Bo and Joe, I asked them, about working with Martin Sheen. And then, so they were talking, they're telling stories about working with him. And Bo, because I had a plan here. There was a reason I asked them. There's two reasons. One, because, they worked with Martin Sheen. And the second was I had a prank to pull on the audience. So they're giving answers, and I'm listening intently to what they're saying to find something they say as an in to bring me seamlessly into my prank. And Bo says the word, he goes, Marty really surprised me. And I was like, there it is, surprised. Thank you, Bo. And then he finishes talking, and I go, well, yeah, I mean, it sounds from both of your stories that Martin Sheen is a man of many surprises. And he's got one more left in him, ladies and gentlemen. Here he is, Martin Sheen. And I point to the door that we walked out of, and I swear to God, people stood up, started clapping. Some people got on their feet, started clapping, and you heard some oh, things like that. And I held it for a while, and then I said, no, I'm just kidding, it's not here. And then I got booed, and it was great. And I think from that moment on, everybody really let loose and just had a lot of fun. And we had a lot of laughs. It was great. But yeah, so unfortunately Martin Sheen didn't come. My goal this weekend was to just get him to say yes to an interview. But of course he wasn't here, so that wasn't going to happen. Saturday night, we went to the Farnsworth house with the actors. And it was interesting. It was interesting to say the least, but it was cool. I got to, I badgered Stephen Lang about coming on the show. I had him trapped in the corner, and I went up to him. He was talking to Bo. Thank God Bo was there, because I think it kind of helped. And I go over to him and I extend my hand, and he shakes it, and I said, nice to see you again. And he goes, have we met? And I said, yeah, like 6 times. And he goes, that's bullshit. And I said, no, we've met 6 times. And he goes, what's your name? And I said, it's Matt. And he goes, no, it's not. I said, absolutely is. And then Bo's like, he's lying. It's James or something. And, and then we're doing that whole thing. And he goes, I said, yeah, you've met me a bunch of times. And you said that you would come on my podcast 6 times. He goes, that's a lie. And I said, okay, it was 4. And he goes, it's still a lie. And I said, no, it's 4, and I'm sticking to it. You told me 4 times that you would come on the show, and I'm waiting. And he goes, what's your show? And I said, it's Address in Gettysburg. And I said, you listened to it, and you told me in July that you thought it was great. And he goes, it is great. I did like it. And I was like, great. So come on. And I go, what's the harm of coming on? You think it's great? Come on the show. He goes, I don't want to do anything. It's nothing against you. He's like, I just don't want to do anything. As I'm at that age where I just want to do nothing. And I was like, oh, I understand that. I've been that way since I was 12. And then he told me, he's like, look, you got to talk to my assistant and tell him we'll do it, and we'll set it up and everything. Now, I've heard this before. I've talked to Ron before. Ron and I are buddies, and I went up to Ron and I told him, I said, all right, he told me to tell you to set this up. We'll do it by phone so he can sit in the comfort of his home, and let's do this. So we'll see. We'll see. But that was really fun to hang out there with them. Someone had a medical episode. None of the actors, but a friend of somebody's had one, and And that was a little scary for a second because we weren't sure. Like, he was out for a bit, and we were afraid that he had died. And the bad part was he was blocking the only way for us to get out from that little alcove behind the bar at the Farnsworth House in Swedish Tavern. But the cops came, then the EMTs came, and then got him up and out. And we all gave him a round of applause, and he was okay. I think. I haven't heard anything since. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I spoke to Billy Campbell. I spoke to everybody, but I went up to Billy Campbell, and this was the first time I met him. And he was talking with Gary Edelman, and so I walk up, and I put my hand out, and I say, Billy, everybody tells me you're like the nicest guy here. And he made some quip, and then Gary says, "This is Matt Callery. He has he's my favorite." And then he goes, "One of my favorite podcasts." And I'm like, "No, Gary, it's your favorite. You can admit it's your favorite." Addressing Gettysburg, and then Billy just goes, "Oh, well, I'd come on your podcast if you want." And I was like, "That's exactly what I was going to ask you." We were going to do it last night, but Bo and his girlfriend Chris, myself and Cindy had plans already for a private screening at our new home of A Gettysburg Christmas. And so I said, and then it was going to be later, but Bo was exhausted, and he called and he's like, "Can we do it earlier? Because we're beat." So I was like, all right. So I said to Billy, it's like, and he had like a narrow window, and it was just too much. And I said, "Listen, let's do it over Skype. You know, I would love to have you in the studio, but, you know, it's just that there's conflicting things here." Which kind of sucks, because I want people in the studio to sign the Wall of Fame, but whatever. So then we watched A Gettysburg Christmas. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I am not saying this because I am paid to. I'm not saying this because Bo's my friend. I'm saying this because I genuinely liked it. And you have to understand, I hate Christmas movies. I hate the Christmas season. I don't mind Christmas the day, but I don't like Christmas the month and a half. And all of the money you got to spend and the whole thing. That's not what this is about. We're not going to get all grinchy. So, yeah, we sat down and we watched it. It's not the final cut. It's the final cut, but it's not the final polished over edit and stuff. There's still a couple of little technical things that need to be taken care of. Some of the footage that I shot, actually, anytime you see footage, except for I think 2 points, where the ground is blanketed in snow and like the town is empty and all that other stuff, that was from 2 years ago when Bo dragged me out of the house on a very snowy day to get B-roll for this. And guess what? Story of my life. I'm not credited as B-roll whatever. But let it be known that that is my footage. Footage, if you will. So anyway, we watched it, and I gotta tell you, I really liked it. Does it have, cheesy romantic stuff? Absolutely. Does it have cheesy Christmas saccharine, mushy stuff? Yes. But as Christmas movies go, it is the least douche-chill, cringe-inducing Christmas movie you've ever seen. There's even some good humor in it. And I think, I said to Bo afterwards, I said, listen, I'm not blowing smoke. I really think the town is going to love this movie. I think Christmas movie dorks are going to totally fall in love with this. And the businesses in this town that you feature, I said, you have made the second longest commercial for Gettysburg since the movie Gettysburg. And it is, but it's a good story. The acting is well done. The girl who plays the lead, Kelly, I forget her last name. She was in the Pitch Perfect movies, which I just found out last night. I'd never seen those movies. She was fantastic. Really, really good. Like, she was very natural. She played the role well. Delivery great. Facial expressions perfect. Really good. And those of you who visit here and go to all these businesses and everything like the Dobbin House or Lark or what else did they go to? Mr. Cheese or the Farnsworth House, you're going to love it. You're going to freaking love it. And people who have never been here, who just find it because it's a Christmas movie and watch it, they're going to want to come here and see these places. It's just really, I think, even if it's not a commercial success for Bo, he did something very nice for the people and the town and the businesses of Gettysburg by making this film. And I must say it warms my cockles. And because of the job I did hosting the panel with Bo and Joseph, he then said to me, I want you to do the panel, the Q&A panel after a Gettysburg Christmas premiere. So I will be doing the panel for that. That one I'm going to be nervous for because I don't know the movie inside and out like Gettysburg. So that'll be interesting to see what kind of questions I could come up with. So what I'll do is pull over here. This is a different view than we normally have when I pull over. And we'll zoom in here on the fireman. And then let's see what you guys have been saying. Okay, guys? Okay. All right, let's get past the morning. All right. Good morning, everyone. Sarah, hey. Nice to see you. Michael says, nice to finally meet you. I got 2 autograph signatures. Nice to meet you, too, Michael. You got Bo and Joseph. Very nice. Good morning, Zach. Good morning, Marie. She had a fabulous time this weekend. She thought I did great. Thank you, Marie. I think you're even better in person. That's what she said. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. I would disagree with you. I'm better in person when I'm up there with people who know how to play to an audience. When I don't know if I'm better up there just straight interviewing somebody who doesn't necessarily know how to play. Like when we do our live recordings of shows, I don't think I'm that good there because I feel like I'm out on a limb. I feel unsupported out there. I don't have a production staff. So I got to be behind the scenes and on the scene guy. This was great. I just had to walk out and do the thing. I didn't have to worry about any pre-planning, nothing. That was all taken care of for me. In those situations, I am better. I'll agree. So yes, but typically, no, I don't think I am. When I have to be everybody, I'm not as good. Morning, Tom. 6th question says you did great, Matt. It was a great panel. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, Mike, Andrew Dalton came up to me first. He got up there first right away. He said something very nice. I won't say what it was, but he said something very nice. And then it was nice to see Cindy's face come out of the crowd and Joe from Peach Orchard Publishing, 6 questions, all these familiar faces coming up to congratulate me and say nice things. It was very nice. It really made the whole thing great. I had such a great time. David says, excellent interview with Jonathan Rothman. Thank you very much. 6th question says, John's collection was awesome. It took every bit of my self-control not to touch the uniforms. Oh, when the whole thing was over, I went in there to see him, and I was manhandling everything, putting on hats and all that other stuff. It was cool. It was cool. He did a great job. He had a lot to do with this. I have to say this, and I'll say this again on Thursday's show. Andrew Dalton and his staff and everybody else, Pete Mealy, all the other people that had a hand, Journey Through Hallowed Ground, in putting this on. But I'm under the impression, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm under the impression that Andrew was at the helm. Amazing. Just fantastic. Even Tom Berenger gave Andrew a shout out before the screening, for putting the whole thing on. And he said it was just, seamless. Everything is just working perfect. Everything flowed together nicely. And it really was a fantastic event. And I think anybody who was there will attest to that. It was just a great time. Marie says, Matt, you jerk. Thank you. Fuquay and the coffee. Okay, so 6 questions talks about Fuquay and the coffee cup. So I asked or somebody, I don't remember. No, it was me. I asked a question, I think. And now this is an old gag. I've seen Sammy Davis do it. I've seen Dean Martin do it. It's an old gag where you got a drink in one hand and a mic in the other, and you go to talk in the mic, but you're speaking to the cup, right? But I talked to him afterwards, and I was like, that was a great gag with the thing. He goes, it wasn't a gag. I genuinely made that mistake. And he had a coffee in one hand and a mic in the other, and he went to answer the question, and he very calmly and nonchalantly, goes and raises his cup to speak into the mic with a very serious look on his face. And I just happened to, just as he was doing that, my focus, my vision shifted to him to catch that, like with the perfect timing. And then when he realized it, I lost it. Like I started cracking up because it was just great timing. But it was a complete accident. Like he really made that mistake. But what was funny was Berenger did it. Not that he saw this panel and did it, but just to show you what an old showbiz gag this is. Berenger did it at the screening the next or that later that night. So it's an old thing. But apparently he genuinely made that mistake. Good morning, Dr. James. 6 Questions says, that night at the Farnsworth was fascinating for people watching. Besides the actors, it was a who's who of Gettysburg. Who else was there? Oh, yeah, because Jake was there. Jake Borrett, Andrew, Tim, and, of course, probably the brightest star there. I mean, had to be me. Mike says, Billy Campbell is a good-looking man. He was also really nice. Debbie was there at the Farnsworth, texting her sister in Hawaii and making her jealous. He came over and took a photo with Debbie. Oh, that's right. Her sister's reaction text was hilarious. What did she say in the reaction text? Where will the movie be released? Lifetime, etc. I don't know where it will be broadcast. I do know that there will be DVD sales eventually at some point. I'm sure you'll be able to get them here in the store. I don't know what they're gonna. So Bo has nothing to do with that. The executive producer owns the movie and all that other stuff. So I don't know long term. I know short term it is premiering here at the Majestic on November 27th. I do believe. No, I don't know what I believe. I'm not sure if tickets are sold out or not. Call the Majestic and find out. And then I think it's supposed to run there throughout the Christmas season. I don't know. Everything changes. Like apparently with movies, you don't know until it's done, what's going to actually happen. 6 Questions says, Christmas movie dork. Hey, I resemble that remark, Sarah. Oh, sorry. Well, I say it in a loving way. Marie says, Hallmark Christmas movies start on October 20th. Yeah, see? It's 2 months. 2 miserable months of Christmas. It's insane. Andy says, well, you have until the panel to get it inside and out. That's what she said. 6 Questions says, Bo is just awesome. As far as not knowing the movie is concerned, I've seen you do an interview of an author having read the wrong book. That's true. That's true, I did. Well, I would have faked my way through that anyway. Anything to talk to Carrie for an hour and a half. Wade Wood, morning, everyone. Good morning, Wade. 6 Questions says, yes, Andrew and his staff did a great job. They really did. I mean, this was like a top-notch event. Just super. Jumpmaster says, actor personalities are interesting. At the Glory shoots, Denzel was just an incredible guy. Laid on a hill during the Antietam shoot and talked for an hour or more. Broderick, on the other hand, yeah, well, Broderick was what, like 20-something at the time? There's people at that age. Ugh. Marie, Andrew is an incredible young man. He is. You're a jerk for the Martin Sheen joke. I know. Oh, God, it was so fun. Oh, you should have seen you people. Oh, so I did see out in my periphery, because I was looking towards the door. In my periphery, I do believe I saw people stand up, and all the heads turning at the same time to the door, and the scattered claps and the gasps. Oh, I had you in the palm of my hand. Dr. James, do you know if they caught the guy who stole? They know who he is. They contacted him. Um, I'll just be honest. It was Joe Biden in disguise, and they said so. They sent a letter and a tweet to the White House. No, it's a guy from here in Pennsylvania. I don't know his name. They didn't tell me his name, but according to John, and it's his stuff, so I think he would know. He signed like some list. Like, they have him on camera. It's so stupid. And he wore this baseball cap with a yellow bill. Like, how do you're standing out like a sore thumb, or a jaundiced thumb, I should say. Dr. J. Oh, yes. Michael, 6 questions. She wrote back, I hate you, over and over and over again. Well, she had to move to Hawaii. Marie says, I heard they were sold out already. Okay, good. You're going to relive that glorious moment forever, aren't you? Until I come up with a new one. Yeah, probably, Marie. Dustin Wise, good morning. And by the way, for those of you who weren't there, pardon me, for those of you who weren't there will be video of it soon. I was told that I could get a copy to put on my YouTube, and it will also be on ACHS's YouTube. So 2 different places you can find it. I don't know when, though. Dustin says, good morning, all. Good morning, Dustin. Just got back from visiting Vicksburg and missed the last few morning drives. Well, you not only missed the last few morning drives, you missed my whole update now about the weekend with the movie stars. Weekend with the movie stars. Driving around in the fancy cars. All right, so let's see. I think today we'll go on Ayers Avenue, because we haven't gone that way in a while. Come on. If we get enough equal amount of likes, I will tell you a super secret. Nah, I'm not going to do that. Just like it because you're good people. It's so funny. As soon as we start talking about the likes, the views go down. But I saw, the only other panel I saw other than my own was, which I didn't see, was Jonathan Rothman and Brian Mallon. They were funny. Brian was pretty funny with his Bo story and all the jokes that he had and little anecdotes. I got Jonathan to sign, or John. I don't know why I keep calling him Jonathan. He goes by John. I got him to sign the Wall of Fame. He was the only one who was in the studio. James Lancaster said that he'd be happy to come in because he's like, I do have some downtime, but I couldn't catch up to him. And so I didn't do it, but we'll do it over the phone. And I really badgered John. I was like, listen, I want to put the movie interviews behind me. I want to finish this, and I will finish it if I could get Martin Sheen. I don't care about Sam Elliott. I don't care about Jeff Daniels. Now, that's not to say I wouldn't interview them but they wouldn't. They're not going to do an interview with me. Or the other ones over and over again. That's the impression I get. What do I know? Yeah, so I was like, John, you got to get me in touch. And then he told me some things. It was an awesome weekend, Matt. You sound like you were a kid in a candy store. Seeing video will be great when it's available. I was a kid in the candy store. It was a lot of fun. I was tempted. I was trying to... I don't know what I'm trying to say. I was tempted. Like, I talked to James Patrick Stewart because he was on after us, and so we were back in the research room, which was being used as a green room, and so he was in there with Patrick Gorman, and so I was talking to them, and I said I'd never met James before, and I went up to him and introduced myself, and I follow him on Instagram, and I said, I like your story time when you do it on Instagram, and he's like, oh, yeah, all right. And he had a lot of like self-deprecating jokes, and I said, I'd like to interview you. I do the podcast. I've interviewed all these guys. I'd like to add you to the list if you don't know. He's like, well, I don't really know what I would say. I wasn't here very long. And I go, it doesn't matter. I don't talk about the movie for very long anyway. Not really interested in, all of that. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. But I at some point I was like, you know what? Let me enjoy this. Like, Andrew was kind enough to give me the media pass, which got me access to everything except for VIP dinners. I didn't want to be a real pain in the neck by just going around going, can you guys do this? Can you sign my this? Because everybody else was that. So I didn't want to add to that. So I didn't. And I said, let me just go around and enjoy whatever I can get out of it and be great. And that's what I did. And I had a fantastic time. Fantastic time. All the actors were great, but I had fantastic interactions with Max Caulfield and James Lancaster. Was Max at Farnsworth, Mike? Because I didn't see him. Ms. Lisi, now's the time to contact them. Better chance they respond, considering a ton of actors were at the 30th. Contact who? Martin Sheen? Oh, he signed at Farnsworth, but he was not there at that. Okay, gotcha. It's funny, when a couple of weeks ago I texted Joseph and I said, you probably have a hotel room already, but if you don't, I got a guest room. You can stay in my place. And he goes, yeah, they got me a room and I'm going to stay there because I can walk everywhere and blah, blah, blah. But then after the panel, we were in the green room and Cindy was back there. And he went over to her and he goes, and you are? And she goes, I'm Cindy, I'm Matt's girlfriend. And he's like, what? And he comes over to me and he goes, dude, you married up. He's like, look at you. How did you get this? And I said, well, she has cataracts. And he goes, I'll accept your invitation now. Next time I come down, I'll stay at your house knowing that she's there. So that was good. She's an asset. What can I say? What can I say? And then I said to Joe, I said, good. Because the guest room also doubles as her daughter's room. So you should be right at home. I love him. We had so much fun busting balls before the panel. Because I got there first. I was told to get there at 8:15. And now, when you're nervous, right? When I'm nervous, Cindy, she's like, do you want me to come with you or do you want me to meet you there? I go, no, come with me. So we go in and I start getting nervous and we go up to the research room because I'm there on time and no one's there. And I'm sitting there for 10 minutes with her and I go, you know what? Let's walk around. Because I do this before all the shows too because I like being around the people. So I go mingle. And then while I'm mingling, I'm like, no, I shouldn't be doing this. I need to guess. I don't know what I'm going to do on the show. So I need to go and see if I can come up with an idea. So then I go back to being secluded or sequestered. And then that goes 5-10 minutes. And then I'm like, this is how I get when I'm nervous. I flip about and I'm kind of erratic. If you're going to go nuts, follow. And I don't want to have to keep explaining myself to you. So, why don't you just go get a seat and I'll see you after the show. And she's like, no, I could do it. But I think she went and got a seat. So I go and I sit in the room there again. And then Joseph comes in. And so we start, immediately like our little witty repartee and, making each other laugh, which helps ease my nerves a bit. Um, and then Bo came in, and then he joined, and we had a lot of fun. We had so much fun. I am so eternally grateful to Andrew and Gary for thinking of me and including me in that panel. Eric Houston, thank you for the $10 super like. Ms. Lisi, I don't think I'd have, from what I hear, I don't think I would have a problem with Sheen. He's very nice. He wanted to be here. He was all ready to go, but something came up. And he says he's like the nicest guy. He doesn't act like a big star or anything like that. And he's very friendly, very talkative. They're all talkative. They love talking about themselves. Yeah. So I'm not worried about Sheen. Daniels, from what I hear about him, I don't even want to try. I just don't want to try. Because if he said yes, I think he would be a very difficult person to talk to. Like, he would do it reluctantly. and then make you know it the whole time. Which only makes him look like an asshole. But, still, the things that I've heard, I just, no. And you've seen the bloopers. You see how he was with the guy who was messing up the lines. That's him being professional. McNair, I thought your gag about Martin Sheen was really in bad taste. You obviously planned that, and even if you didn't, it wasn't funny. Overall, you came off as a douche. Thank you, McNair. Finally, someone who is honest. I agree, and thank you for your honesty. People need to lighten up. 6 questions. You were great, but let's be honest, Cindy was the MVP of the weekend. Exactly. Hey, let's see. Marie says, bah ha ha ha, that's funny. I talked with Cindy a little bit yesterday before the second panel. She's so nice. Thank you. McNair, you made another condescending joke about one of the actors you interviewed, and there were groans. Not funny. Oh, McNair, lighten up. Please. What was the joke I made about one of the other actors I interviewed? I hope they learn their lesson and you're not allowed back. You're not Howard Stern. No, I'm not. I'm very not much that wealthy. Well, let me tell you, McNair 39, I appreciate your honesty. I truly do, because it helps me to improve when I do these. And I'm trying to think of the joke that you're talking about that was, see, I know you're trying to insult me and hurt me, but you're not, because I actually use negative feedback in a positive way, so I do thank you for it. But I'm trying to think of the joke that you said. Did it have something to do with riding? Or, I don't remember what it was. But also, sometimes when inside jokes come out in public, it can come off as rude or douchey or something like that. So yeah, I can understand that. Ms. Lisi, yeah, Daniels does seem like a jerk. I mean, I don't know. I never met him, but according to McNair, I am too. So maybe we would get along great. Ghost of Sickles Leg, hello all, and what the hell? A later drive, but appreciate it anyway. Yeah, I was exhausted. I kind of slept in a little bit this morning. 6 questions at Ghost. Hello. Ghost of Sickles Leg, McNair, do you pee on a lot of people's fun? Oh, leave him alone. Leave him alone. His life is miserable enough as it is. You don't need to pile on him. He's entitled to his opinion, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not peeing on anybody's fun. I mean, I don't know if it's peeing on your fun, Ghost. It's not peeing on my fun. I had fun. And by the way, all weekend. First of all, the people that came, please. Secondly, Bo called me at one point later on Saturday, and he's like, dude, are you getting stopped by people talking about how our panel was so good? And I said, yeah, like all day long. And he said, so am I. He's like, people keep like, you're the best panel. You guys were so funny, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, you can't please everybody. And you have to go with the overwhelming feedback. And the overwhelming feedback disagrees with McNair. So, but his is still valuable to me. Because even though he's wrong, but I guarantee you he's not the only one who felt that way in that audience. So it's something good for me to consider moving forward, because I mean, even if I adjusted it and I didn't do something like that again, I would do something else that would piss off McNair. Some people just don't like you, and it's fine. You can't, I mean, it's impossible for everybody to like you. The thing is, I have to wonder how miserable is somebody's life that they actually have to take the time to tell you that. Like, who hurt you, McNair? I know, okay. Even though I'm saying that, I do really, truly mean that I value his input. Jumpmaster says he runs a ghost tour. Who runs a ghost tour? Ghost? Tom Canavan, can't wait until my next interview. I will... Wait, hold on. I will open with Matt Calorie, everyone. That's funny. What's the best form of flattery? That's funny, Tom. Ghost says, hey, Mike, and Matt has no sense of guilt, sort of like a modern-day Dan Sickles, who will appreciate in the future and will be the second... yeah, I don't know about that. Second savior of Gettysburg. I don't even know if Dan was the first savior. He caused the damn problem. Gail says hello. Gail, Charlie Fennell said hello. Oh, how was your tour with Charlie? Sixth question says, I had a huge nerd out moment this weekend. It was not over an actor. I met Phil Cole. Yeah, I saw Phil. He came up to me after the panel. When I saw him, I went, Phil Cole? Like Artillery Phil Cole? Very excitedly. He looked at me like I was crazy. That's funny. Marie says, I'm hoping to be lucky enough to sit at Matt's table after Saturday's tour. Well, you know what's funny, Marie? Usually at those lunches, nobody ever saves a table for me or a spot at the... Like, I have to get in there. You know, there's a book called Leaders Eat Last, and so I always try to eat last, but I don't always, because sometimes I'm starving because I don't eat breakfast before these tours. And, so I get in there, and then, like, all the tables are taken sometimes. And I have to kind of go, can I sit here? So, it's funny. It's funny. Ghost says, I recommend everyone who gets a chance break bread with Matt. Oh, that's very nice of you, Ghost. Thank you. Marcia says, good morning, Matt. Never a fan of the movie Gettysburg, but that is my opinion. And that is okay. That is okay, Marcia. Hanan Sene says, we must be in the Enchanted Forest. No, I guess we're in a different Enchanted Forest. There's enchantment all over the place. Hey, big news. Did you hear Steve Sims is leaving? That's sad. I like Steve Sims, and I think he's doing a good job. I know a lot of people don't like some of the rules and things that are being enforced and they feel like they're new rules that he made up. But the reality of it is that's not true. He's just enforcing rules, and there's a difference, between making them up and enforcing them. So they're already on the books. But I think this park is being whipped into shape very well by Steve and the things that he's executing, and I'm sad to see him go. I liked him. I consider him a buddy, and I see him somewhere and we'd sit and chat for a bit and have a couple laughs. He's been very helpful to I just passed Charlie Fennell right there. Been very helpful with addressing Gettysburg and helping us with getting information out to you guys by coming on the show. Don't forget, on October 27th, we're going to be on Little Round Top with him again and see the improvements. So that'll be good. That'll be like one of the last things he does, because he doesn't have a date yet when he's leaving, but he will be he will be out there with us, and then he'll be leaving soon. He's not sure, but he thinks it's sometime in November. So yeah, and we don't know who we're gonna get next, as far as I'm aware. I don't know if they name somebody or if we're gonna go through another period of acting supers. I'm not sure. Well, I guess we'll find out. Yes, Debbie says he's going to be the new superintendent of Independence Park. Matt, don't forget my AG Today coffee mug this week. I've already forgotten. What are you talking about? You need an AG Today coffee mug? Yeah, refresh my memory, Tom, so I can scrounge and get it before Thursday. Why is Sims leaving? I don't know if it... I don't know. Maybe they needed somebody over there, and maybe he's got this place running. I don't really know. I'll ask him next time I see him. But he's being transferred over to, as Debbie said, what was it, Independence in Philly. Any indication of who the interim will be? I do not know, Mike. Ghost says, you made Steve Sims very likable, and that is your talent. You use humor and knowledge to put your guests at ease. But not McNair. No, sir. Thank you, Ghost. It's very nice. Debbie Jones. He's on. Oh, yeah. Just read that one. Marie says, and I got to meet Matt Atkinson on Friday. I got his signature. Where'd you meet Matt? BKW. Any ETA on when Little Round Top will be open? Yes. It is going to be reopened at 12 noon. Okay, write this down. 12 noon, August 13th, 2028. No, BKW. They're not giving a date. Sorry. Was that in poor taste? They're not giving a date because it's a very weather-dependent project, and they can't stick to a date because of that. So, yeah. But it's slated to last 18 to 24 months. So at the most, it would be July that it would open, because that would have been 24 months. We're working on 2 years. We're almost there. I mean, you think about it. It's not a ton more time before 24 months comes up. And who knows, they might finish sooner. I guess we'll get a better idea on the 27th when we do our live stream up there. I'll try not to make any jokes about, Jeff Daniels showing up at the 20th Main Monument, because I don't want to upset McNair. But, yeah, I can't wait to read that to people. So that is something that we'll have to find out up there. I know we've asked before, because people do ask this a lot, so we've asked if there's an end date, and they say no, we don't know, and we're not going to give one, because then people are going to hold us to it, Heinous Nene says, if anyone sees a bearded man dressed in blue playing a bass drum at Remembrance Day, come up and say hi. I'll give you a ribbon. That's not narrowing it down, Heinous Nene. I think you got to give us a little bit more detail there. Andy says, well, you better do a spotlight on Sims before he leaves. Oh, great idea, Andy. I will try. So few bass drums in Gettysburg. Ghost says, Steve Sims and his expertise was in the Revolutionary War, and it sounded more in his wheelhouse. Yeah, but he's not, he's not an interpretive ranger. He's a superintendent. And so to superintend, I mean, I'm sure it helps to have a knowledge and respect of the history of the place that you're at, but, it's a different job. But, he does like the Revolutionary War, from what I understand. All right, text me later, Tom. Eric says, I think you should open the Get Out of the Car tour with Martin Sheen joke. We can all right, that'll be good. I'll do it. Well, I have been teasing that we might have a special treat, which I got to find out about, because that's why I've been teasing it, because it's never been certain. Oh, Matt was at the desk at the gotcha. Guitarzan says, now I'm bummed that I missed the tasteless jokes. Hit the like button. We know McNair is not. All right, let's not pick on McNair, okay? He's certainly entitled. Listen, any one of you guys who are friendly, if ever I did something that you didn't like, I would expect you to say it, and I would expect everybody else to not gang up on you. Now, McNair clearly doesn't like us from the beginning. So, and then I gave him more of a reason to give me a specific reason why I'm so terrible. Oh, see, that's nice though, Ghost. Let's be positive with Matt today and show solidarity and hit the like button. That is nice of you. But, no, it's very dangerous to have people only compliment you. And it is good to have someone, not necessarily like McNair, he was trying to hurt, right? He wasn't trying to help. He was trying to hurt. But it doesn't mean he didn't have some valid points. But I would say to McNair, you get up there with no plan and try to help keep the attention of an audience for an hour and tell me what your brain comes up with. So that's the thing I don't think people understand is there's no time to think, would this be well received? You have to just do it, because you're on a limb. You're out up there. Even if there was a script, there are certain moments that are unscripted that you vamp on and you feed off. So Bo and me and Joseph would feed off of each other and, come up with these things. By the way, afterwards, Bo and Joe were saying that they thought that was hilarious. So. Ghost says, I heap abuse upon all, so I expect what I give out return, part of trolling. There you go. Yeah, and again, you can't please everybody. People weren't there to see me. They were there to see Bo and Joseph. And so, I don't know McNair from a hole in the ground. So I don't know if he knew of addressing Gettysburg before and liked it until that moment, or if he learned about it from that panel and purposely came on here to tell me how horrible of a person I am. I don't know. But you're not going to make everybody happy. Everybody's not going to get it. And if they're there, look, so here's something that I'll give you an example of something. I came here to Bantam Roasters to get a coffee while Jonathan Rothman and Max Caulfield were signing at the Dobbin House. And there was a line of people right there. I gotta zoom in a bit. But right there, coming around the side of the building, there was a line of people standing there. And some of them, holding memorabilia in their arms like a middle school girl holds her books. Back when they used books. And I kind of stood, as I was waiting for my coffee to be made, I stood on the steps of Bantam Roasters, and I looked at the enthusiasm of the people holding these things, standing in line. It was a beautiful day. It was Friday, so it wasn't like rainy or cold or anything. It was gorgeous. They're standing there, giddy, smiling faces and everything, for 5 to 10 seconds with a famous person to get a signature and maybe as a picture. I don't knock it. I just don't understand it. So I just stood there staring, trying to put myself in those shoes. I've been fans of people before, but it's more of like an admirer of their work and their talent, not a fanatic, which is what fan is short for. So there's a difference, I think. I don't know what it is exactly, but there is a difference. And so like yes, of course I'd be excited to meet somebody who I admire, but I wouldn't stand in line for an hour, I guess. I wouldn't do certain things that others will do. And it's not to knock it. It's just I'm not that enthused about somebody. Now, what was the point of me bringing this up? Because there was a reason for it. Oh, so like, and we're not picking on McNair here, because I'm sure, let's say there were 8 people in the audience, 10 people, let's say 15 people in the audience agreed with McNair. Okay? And I joke when I say who hurt you and all that stuff, or who didn't hug you enough. Valid questions, but I'm joking. Okay? But the thing is, you got to remember McNair's mindset and the McNairies. That's what we'll call those 15 people, the McNairites. They don't care about who's hosting the panel. They want to see the stars from this movie that they love. And so maybe, and I'm guessing, because he obviously left, I'm guessing that, oh no, there he is. It's the truth. I can guarantee you people thought he was serious about Sheen being there. You likely alienated a large part of the audience. I likely did not. But also, I alienate a large part of the audience every day. There's 7 billion people in the world. I could lose 15. I lose it all the time. Because, and it's not even being controversial. It's being just, I like to have fun. I like to joke around. People who take joking too seriously need their heads examined. Like, he's not dying in a hospital bed. He had something else come up. I know what it is. And, you know, if he were dying in a hospital bed, I think that's in poor taste. What I think my argument would be that you think it's in poor taste because you really wish that he was there and you really wanted to see him and you get very excited about all this stuff. And you get excited about seeing the actors, and that's fine. There are hundreds of other people here like that too. I'm trying to be sympathetic to you here. And, or empathetic. So if you're all excited about it and someone toys with your emotions like that, that can piss you off, is what I'm trying to say. And it could also still not be funny. But yeah, I did plan it. I planned it like 30 seconds before I did it. And so it wasn't like it was planned for a week. I planned it 30 seconds before I did it because they started talking about Martin Sheen. And I took a gamble. And I got exactly the reaction out of the crowd that I wanted to get. Elation, disappointment, boo. And then there was laughter mixed in with the boo. Because most people got it. Just going back through the comments here. I don't know what you guys are talking about. That way you can try to improve a relationship. What is that? It's nice to know where you stand with folks from the get-go. Yeah, but who gets that luxury? Not many do. That way you can try to improve a relationship or tell them to F off. Some people don't want to let you improve a relationship. That's, you gotta just keep going. There is no time. We are freelancers here. Marie, I got a picture of Joe through the door of the research room by the restrooms where it looks like he was flashing whoever he was talking to. You gotta send me that. Did you wave to us through the window there? I think I remember that, Marie, or somebody waved. Oh no, it was Beth. Ghost of Sickle's leg, says McNair. I only piss on it when they suck. There you go. That's fair. Eric Houston. Elizabeth toured Little Round Top last week. I was hoping they would give the students some insider info, but alas, no such luck. No, there's no insider info to give. Kevin, too much discourse here whenever trolls show up. They're not worthy of such lengthy commentary. You're right, Kevin, but McNair is not... I don't think he's a troll. I understand what he's saying. And by the way, trolls come in, they throw something incendiary out, and they leave. He's actually going back and forth. So, give him a little respect there. Plus, with you guys ganging up on him, he's holding his own. McNair, it's the truth. I can guarantee you people thought he was serious about Sheen. Yeah, they did. And it was a 5-second little joke. Ms. Lisi went to the barbecue on Friday. But I got to say this, too, in McNair's defense. This is the story of my life. I was in the principal's office all the time for jokes. Honestly, jokes. I never vandalized anything. I never beat anybody up. Jokes. Kevin says, McNair, you can guarantee it? Ha. No, he took a survey, guys. Come on. Heinous and Anu, why is nobody talking about Gettysburg sequel coming out, Christmas in Gettysburg? Well, actually, we were talking about a Gettysburg Christmas before. I don't think you were in here. I saw in an early version of it. Well, it's basically done. They just have to put the finishing touches on. Last night, Bo brought it over, and we watched it. And I have to tell you, I really liked it, and I think you're going to like it too. Yes, it's got, the kind of corniness of a Christmas movie and a romance movie that you come to expect, but it's not really, in your face. There's some good humor in it. Bruce Boxleitner and Kelly, and forgive me, I can't remember her last name, who she plays the lead. They're all very good, but the two of them as father and daughter, it's really kind of a father and daughter story. There's, of course, the love stories that go along with it, but it's really about a father and daughter reconciling after not talking to each other for years. And they play it very well. Lee Majors is in it, and he plays this guy, Charlie, this old man, wise old man type of thing. And they're all great. I just thought it was great. And then you're going to love seeing the town. You're going to love seeing the businesses in the town. It's the battlefield. There's some, it wasn't shot on the battlefield, but there's some shots driving by. You'll see some cannons and monuments in the background. It's pretty neat. 6th question. I was collecting autographs for a fan who could not make it. Otherwise, I would not have been going to the signings. Even so, if I had not, I would not have so many great interactions with fans. Gotcha. Morning, David. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Glad to see you back. Edward, lighten up McNair. Leave McNair alone. But yeah, lighten up. Guitarzan says, "Is that the Farnsworth house in front of you? That is the Dobbin house. That is the Dobbin house." Ghost says, "Always look on the bright side of insert whistling here." Yes. Kevin says, "Exactly, Matt, and it was your crowd, not anyone else's." No, that was Bo and Joseph's crowd. That was not my crowd. And that's my point in McNair's defense, is the people there were not there to see me. They were there to see Bo, and they were there to see Joseph. I could have been anybody. I was incidental to the... Is it incidental? Is that the word I'm looking for? I was irrelevant. People weren't buying tickets to see Matt. They were buying tickets to see Joseph and Bozef. And so, but nothing gained, nothing... What is it? Nothing gained, nothing won. No, nothing... What the... What am I trying to say? Oh, I had to take a risk, is what I'm trying to say. Hannah said, "Boy, I can't wait to hoe back and listen. Matt, my sense of humor always gets me in trouble with at least someone." Yeah. I've gotten used to it by now. I don't say this to be mean, but I've learned from my own problems in my life that I've worked through. I have learned that our reaction to things tells us more about ourselves than what we're reacting to. Which is why I'm not trying to be mean to McNair. Because I'm not saying everybody likes me. I'm not saying everybody should like me. That would be ridiculous. But perspective and the way we react to things, I think, is dictated more by the internal struggles that we have than the external thing we're supposedly reacting to. And I think if McNair were honest, he would do some soul searching, and he would be like, "You know what, Matt, you're right. It was a douchey thing for you to do, to get our hopes up like that. But my hatred for you, my utter contempt and disgust and hatred for you, is really based in my own problems with myself." But he won't. David says, "Somebody being feisty this morning?" No, just being honest, that's all. He's just being honest. Andy says, "I love that song, Ghost of Sickle's Leg." What song are we talking about here? Oh, yeah, Monty Python. 6 Questions Lens says, "Presenting a copy of Attack and Defense of Little Round Top by Norton to Caulfield, for him to sign produced a great moment. Personally, I usually do not get autographs for myself." What was the moment, Mike? Tell us about it. Ghost says, "McNair, we are all critics. Hindsight is always 20/20. Yeah. I mean, look, I'll put it like this. Joseph and Bo have been in my shoes where they were in front of an audience and trying to be engaging and entertaining for a certain amount of time with no script. And they thought, did I lose sound? Can you guys hear me? I think I just lost sound. Can you hear me now? Okay, sound is back. All right, good. Sorry, yeah. Is it gone again? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. That's what I was thinking, Phil. Thank you. Okay, you can hear now. Okay, good. I don't know what's going on. My phone is going nuts. Can you hear me now? Now it's calling myself. What the hell is happening? Anyway, let me see what you guys are saying here. Ghost says, "I was in awe of being in Matt's presence, but then I got to eat with Louis Trott, and after that I was like, Matt who?" Matt Tom says Lee Majors playing Charlie Fennel. Yep, you got it. You ruined the surprise. Marie says, "Well, I was looking forward to seeing you, Matt." Well, thank you, Marie. I'm sure there were a couple, of course, but everybody really was there for Bo and Joe. Kevin, you were the facilitator, Matt. Yeah, all right, thank you. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Yes, gotcha. All right, nothing. Thank you. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. Everybody got it. We're part of your support system. I appreciate it, Marie, and I definitely need it. But yes, but I'm just saying the majority of people were not there. Can you not hear now? Okay, yes, you can hear. Good. Let's see. Nothing mentioned, nothing gained. Heinous and Annie says, "Should I say it too?" Yeah, because I can't remember what it is. Give me one more time. What's the cliche? Oh, good. You did it. You did it. Good. All right, can hear you now. Went to Wright Brothers National Monument in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina last week. Not a huge part of NPS for sure, but it's still an awesome little park. David says, I can hear you. Okay, good. We can hear. Missed the part where you were talking about them being in front of a group. Please repeat. No, so I think what you're referring to is I was saying that, Bo and Joseph afterwards we were talking and they were laughing about it, but they understood that it was mischievous, right? I was being mischievous by doing that, which is a one way to play with an audience. And but they have been in the situation I was in, which was, hey, first of all, I had to move the thing along, right? So I had to move it. I had it scheduled. I had, a certain time I had to turn it over to the audience. So I have to think of these things. And I interview people for a living. And even when I'm doing it in the comfort of my studio, I don't prepare questions because it would be boring. And if when the video comes out, if you see me reading the prepared by somebody else script that I had to read, I'm terrible. And then the minute that's over, I was calm and relaxed and everything was okay. But my point is, people who have been in that situation where you have to hold an audience, you have to entertain an audience, you have to take a risk. You have to roll the dice once in a while. If something comes to your head, here's another thing. You get an idea in your head. I could sit there and I can deliberate. Is this a good idea? Should I do this? Blah, 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 blah. Or do I just say F it and do it and let the chips fall where they may? Because if I sit there and deliberate, I'm not paying attention to the guys talking. And another question might come out of that. But if I'm not paying attention, I won't get that question. And then if they're done, I need to know if their answer is sufficient to end it and move on to the next question or the next subject. So there is no time to sit there and pitter patter and worry and pussyfoot. Is McNair or the 15 other people in the audience who are too sensitive going to be upset if I tease them to think that Martin Sheen was there? And why, by the way, would I be the one to introduce Martin Sheen? Why wouldn't it be Tim or Andrew? Why wouldn't they hold that for themselves? So I'm sorry if you feel like a fool for thinking that I would be the guy to introduce Martin Sheen, all 15 of you in the McNair world. But that's not my fault. It's not my responsibility. And it's not my problem. Caulfield was fascinated by the book. I told him Norton wrote it to give his boss Vincent some credit. He started asking me about Vincent and pulled up a chair for me to sit down. That's awesome. Good for you, Mike. See, all that knowledge comes in handy. Heinous Nene says, I dare you to lay down on the horn mat. Oh, that would be funny. No, I don't want to mess with them. One of them might take offense, like McNair. Let's keep this mayhem going. Yeah, that would be good, though. McNair would have a stroke, says Jumpmaster. Heinous says, oh, wait, did you introduce Sheen? Yeah, that's messed up, bro. Oh, it's not messed up. All right, so let's see. I'm going to get coffee. Or do I want tea today? Coffee or tea? Tea or coffee? I think it's a coffee day. I think it's a coffee day. Ghost says, Mike, 6 questions lens. You should have had Max Caulfield sign as pick of him from Grease 2 and asked him about Michelle Pfeiffer. Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer's in that. I forgot. Are you the other Grease 2 fan out there, Ghost? I didn't know there was a Grease 2 until like 2 years ago. Every day is coffee days, says James. Andy says, always black coffee. Debbie Jones says, I just made some tea for myself. What kind of tea do you like there, Debbie? Andy says, agreed, James. Jumpmaster says, you got 2 hands. Andy says, but then again, I like IPAs, so my opinion does not matter. That is true. You don't know what tastes good. Marie says, oh, I should have pointed out my pumpkin spice coffee to you, Matt. Jennifer says, I love Grease. Yeah, but what about Grease 2? Michael says, 6 questions, that is, says, Ghost, everyone else was doing that. I was the nerd talking about Vincent. That's funny. Suzanne Summers died. I was a step-by-step kid. She died a while ago, didn't she? Or am I thinking of somebody else? No, she died like this year, right? Or last year. So you're a step-by-step kid. So you're younger, huh? I remember that show. I was more of a Three's Company kid. When she was Chrissy Snow. Ghost says it's a horrible movie, but fun to McNair it. Oh, let's adopt let's adopt that phrase, McNair it. But what is the definition? We have to define McNair it. Is it to piss on someone's joy, or is it to just be the turd in the punch bowl? Or is it to think that the world must think like they do, and if it doesn't, then they're horrible people? What is, or is it all the above? Because, some definitions have A, B, C, D. So someone come up with a good definition of what it means to McNair it, like shrewding it. Grease 2 is a train wreck. Stop watching. Yeah. Debbie Jones, Twinnings brand. This one was buttermint flavor, mint and vanilla. I'm an herbal tea drinker. There you go. Hannah Sinene, 39 years old. Okay, so you're not too much younger than I am, but you remember Step by Step. That was on TGI Fridays, right? Or TGIF. Thank goodness it's funny. But then sometimes they would get letters in the style of McNair saying, well, you made that one joke about Sandy Duncan. Was that on? Yeah, that was NBC, wasn't it? Or was that a ABC show, the Hogan Family? I feel like it was an ABC show. There you go. Y'all know it's true. You're just fart sniffing fans of Matt, I guess. I think they do know it's true, McNair, but they don't care because they can put it in perspective and they can understand. And I have to say, McNair, I'm trying to be very fair to you, and you don't appreciate that, and that's great. That tells me all I need to know. Because usually, when I get someone, David can attest to this. When I get someone who's being nasty and I don't respond in kind, they realize that they're douches and they come around. But no, but you're holding your own, and I have to admire that. I have to admire that. You're really McNairing it. Thigh Master snapped her head. Oh wait, tasteless. Now I'm on the list. Oh, Jump Master. God. No, she died a couple of years ago, though, right? Or a year ago? I thought it was pretty recent. Rough critique, but fair and valid one.
Kevin, to McNair is to miss the joke. Oh, all right. Okay, that's good. I think the term has to have more than one definition. A, B, C, D, E, because to miss, what is it? To miss the joke? Is that what you said? Yeah, to miss the joke. A lot of people miss the joke and they just don't laugh. But McNair goes one step further. So there needs to be more. You miss the joke, but then da 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 da. Suzanne was the blonde in the white Corvette in American Graffiti. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know she was in that. White Thunderbird corrects Phil. McNair, Brinkman and Fuqua were both rolling their eyes and groaning about it. You could see. Yes, that was they were playing into it, McNair. Okay, now you're starting to show. And now I feel like I'm picking on somebody who's not all there. So I'm not. I'm going to stop with you now. Comedy is like food in Soviet Russia. Not everyone gets it. There you go, James. To McNair is to perseverate on a joke. Perseverate on it. I've never heard that word before. Perseverate on a joke. All right, good. I like that, Hamish. You're improving my vocabulary. An unfunny one, yes. Not every joke is going to land with everybody, McNair. How have you gotten through the world? What are you? How old are you? 39 years old? McNair, 39? Like how have you gotten through life and not understood these things? Ms. Lisi, I think McNair was just giving opinion but did not present it well. I think you're being kind, Ms. Lisi. Go read his first couple of comments. Hogan family was Sandy Duncan and a young Jason Bateman. Yes, it was. But was that ABC or NBC? Do you recall? Andy says, props to McNair for sticking around. Absolutely. Props to McNair for sticking around and extrapolating out and articulating his position. You got to admire it. I do, Andy. I do. I honestly, if I ever met McNair, I'd sit and have a beer with him. Absolutely would. He wouldn't do it with me because I'm worse than Hitler, but, I would. Ms. Lisi said she died Sunday. Okay, who am I thinking of that died then? There was somebody who I put, I guess, in my mind in the realm of Suzanne Summers, who died, like, I swear, within the last year, maybe two. That's sad. I hate seeing people you grew up watching like age and die. It's because it just reminds you of your own mortality. Yeah, let's all give McNair a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, let's see some clapping emojis in there for McNair. McNair doesn't understand that, everywhere else you go and pull this shit, the people hate you and they turn on you and they rip you apart. I'm not doing that with you. I'm saying you're still welcome here anytime you want. If you want to come out on a tour, anything at all, you'll find that as horrible as I am for doing that joke, everybody else that comes here is actually very nice. McNair likes to criticize but doesn't accept it in return. Perhaps he could find another site? No. What would be the point there? McNair, if I did that and someone complained, I would accept it. Only I'd have the good sense and taste never to make the joke in the first place. No, you wouldn't. Because you're a human being, McNair, and again, I doubt you've ever been in that situation. And if you were, I think you would probably, well, you might not try to joke at all. That might be true. You might not joke at all, which is perfectly valid and perfectly fine. But if you do, you take that risk. And by the way, safe jokes are lame. They're lame, they're boring, they're not funny, they get nothing more than polite laughs, and anybody that likes a safe joke needs their head examined. Kevin says, McNair, you think you have good sense? Wow. Okay, all right. Yeah, McNair, come on now. Kevin, I appreciate the, but Ghost, McNair is the Will Smith of joke taking. Keep Martin Sheen's name out your mother effing mouth. That's funny. Hannah Sanene says, yeah, but we're all fart sniffers. I'm about to McNair the shit out of that joke, McNair. I see these celebrity deaths as a common thread with Matt, his confusion. Yes, Marie. No, but Olivia Newton-John, Howard, I did think that for a second, but she died like maybe 5 or so years ago, right? Like she's been gone for a while. But I also don't put her in this in my mind when I think of these people. I don't put her in the Suzanne Summers category. She's more in the Andy Gibb category. I don't know why that works out. Maybe it's the feathered hair. Did they both have feathered hair? Who knows? Yeah, it's funny, Marie. You're right. Like I think people are dead when they're not, and then I think people who are dead are alive. Well, they're always alive in our hearts, right? Ms. Lisi, to the sound of Dan Butterfield, McNair, 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 McNair. Edward, she was born in North Cal, loved to hike Mount Tam. Chris is applauding. There you go. Oh, let's do a spotlight on McNair. I like that, Kevin. Good idea. Although I did think that Roger Whittaker had died a long time ago. See, we all have our moments there. Well, listen, I'm going to go get some coffee. I got some more packing to do today. I do want to thank McNair for coming in. Let's all give McNair a nice round of applause. No sarcasm here. I really do thank him for coming in. Because you know what, McNair? I got to tell you something. I hate myself more than you do. I seriously do. I've been spending the last 5 years after being suicidal trying to find something to like about myself. So you making those comments have only reminded me of how much I truly hate myself and what a piece of worthless shit I am. So I thank you for agreeing with me because I am sick and tired of when I express what a worthless piece of shit I am to people around me, they correct me or try to and tell me I'm not and to stop talking that way. But I tell them, I don't know how you see that I'm not. But McNair does, folks. And McNair has solidified or helped to further solidify that in my mind. And I got to thank him because I love when people agree with me. So McNair, thank you kindly. And check the headlines in the next couple weeks. I was hit hard when Boxcar Willie and Slim Whitman passed. I bet you were, Ghost. Olivia Newton-John was beautiful. She was beautiful. And a really nice voice, too. Very pretty voice. But yes, we were all giving McNair a hand. We like McNair. See, McNair, you never thought that you'd go into a place to stir some shit up and people would come out liking you, including the person who you hate the most in the room. So, yes, you, again, are welcome to come to any event that we ever have, of course, for free, to our Get Out of the Car tours. Next Sunday, or Saturday, excuse me, is the last one of the year, ladies and gentlemen. And who knows? Maybe Sam Elliott will show up. Well, thank you, Jennifer, but I don't believe that. And that's what I'm saying. You know, you go from wanting to die to trying to rebuild, or not even rebuild. I never was built. So trying to build yourself up to someone who likes himself. Forget about love. Likes himself. And I'm only 5 years into it. So I'm not really there yet, you know. And people like McNair help to remind me that I've been right all along, I think. Matt, you're a good person. Saw it in action this summer. Wade, you are clearly delusional because McNair knows. Howard says, you're staying alive. There you go, a little Bee Gees reference there. I brought up Andy Gibb before. And Heinous and Ene is just laughing. Buy the guy a fleet enema. Phil, you are unabashedly you, and that's refreshing. Not to McNair. And you know what? Maybe, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to hang up the gloves and quit because McNair didn't like it. And you know, all of the compliments from people who know far better than McNair could ever hope to dream to know All of those compliments meant nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because they don't see things the way McNair does. You are being discussed, McNair. You are the star of today's show. We love you, McNair. We truly do. And I'm not being sarcastic. We do love you. I think, McNair, I don't know if you popped out and came back in or not to see if you were being discussed. Now you're acting like we're the problem. But somebody suggested we do a spotlight on McNair, and I would love to interview you about being just somebody who knows what's really good, humor-wise, entertainment-wise, taste. Clearly, you are the arbiter of good taste. And you think I'm joking, and you think I'm being sarcastic, but I really would love to have you on the show. I love my haters. What can I say? I truly do. Yep, that's right. Heinous Nene, we just elected you mayor, McNair. Oh, you had me muted. You didn't hear, but you still were on. So that's interesting. Thank you for the for helping the algorithm. You have entered the lexicon and wheelhouse of addressing Gettysburg crowd, and we need a classy guy like you. All joking aside, Ghost. Yeah, like some of my favorite people were people who hated me, but I saw the humor in their hatred for me, and I actually ended up liking them, and then they became like really good friends. So, like, so excuse me, I think I'm getting a cold or something. But McNair, you're absolutely welcome to all of our any event, any events. But clearly, being that you hate me, you don't want to pay for any. So come to the free events and forget me, ignore me. Meet the other people. You're depriving yourself of some great people just because you don't want to have anything to do with me. Come and meet the other people, and you will see that they are really good people. And yeah, honestly, you're certainly welcome. Uh, and yeah, we now have a new word, McNair. I would totally like you. I can tell I would like you. Seriously, and I'll tell you what. I guarantee you, in private, when you and I sit and talk, you would come away liking me. Because you got to understand there's a difference between in front of people and personal sitting at a bar talking, Matt. Hayden Sinene says, I can't wash McNair out of my hair. It's all too good. I'm telling you, I'm becoming obsessed with McNair. Just the sound of the McNair. Like, it comes off the tongue like, right? It rolls nice and easy. Who wears short shorts? We wear shorts. If you dare wear short shorts, McNair for short shorts. I forgot that. Remember that hair removal product Nair? And there was a commercial, and they took that word or that song, and they changed the words a little bit, for your bikini waxing, guys. You remember when we had a bikini wax? McNair for, that's probably in bad taste too, and not funny. But yeah, McNair, it's got a ring to it, and it's like, oh, you just got McNaired. Oh, don't, Frank, don't come to my party and McNair it up, okay? It was a joke. Don't McNair me, right? This stuff, this works. Yes, McNair, an Irish hair removal product. McNair, you and I are going to be best friends. Don't just, I would acknowledge that I might like you stuff. You and I would be best friends. Yeah, McNair, if I ever get down to Gettysburg for an event, I would love to meet you. See, Andy wants to meet McNair. I want to have McNair Fest. Let's have an event where I'll do a spotlight on McNair, but we're going to do it in front of an audience at Saberhood or something next summer. And we'll play the video of the Martin Sheen joke, and we'll let McNair rip it apart. and state his case as to why that makes me worse than Hitler, I think were his words. And I will then try to defend myself, and we'll have fun with this. Let's have fun with this. McNair, why do you want to be miserable and go around hating people, right? Let's turn this into a positive, you and I. Let's have fun with it. I will embrace the fact that you hate the Martin Sheen joke and you think it was in the worst taste, and I'm not funny, and I'm not Howard, which I never said I was, and all that other stuff. If you embrace the fact that, I don't know, you got to figure out what fact to embrace. I'll embrace that. You embrace that, and we'll turn it into and we'll go on a tour around the country, and we'll be like, "See, ladies and gentlemen, we don't need this country is so miserable and nasty. We don't need to add to it. McNair and I are best friends." And then I'll do "Who Wears Short Shorts," the McNair song, and then you'll sit there, "Oh shucks," and all that. We'll have a great time. McNair, that is funny. See, now I got you, McNair. I finally got a joke that you laughed at. McNair was the congressional custodian in 1776. So look at this. Barbara is bringing history into this conversation. McNair, why wouldn't you want to be a part of this group? And you know what? People say, why are you wasting so much time trying to win over McNair? Because I told you, I don't believe that most people who end up, throwing shit at people actually are throwing shit at people because they think that person deserves it, especially over a joke, right? I murder somebody in the middle of the square. That's a different story. But a joke, McNair, he knows he's not in a good mood today. There's something going on in McNair that just, it rubbed him the wrong way. He felt like he was being played for a fool. He got all his hopes up and dashed in 5 seconds, and I'm the guy who did it, so of course I'm the jerk, right? But I know McNair doesn't have hate in his heart. He's not a psychopath. McNair, I don't know McNair from a hole in the ground, like I said, but I just refuse to believe that McNair is an evil, ugly, hateful person. I refuse to believe it. And I think we're winning McNair over, and I think he's going to come to a tour. And I think, you know what? I think a year from now, you're going to be hearing me refer to somebody called McNair the producer, and he's going to have taken over Eric's spot. Marie says, Barbara, a question for tomorrow's trivia. And Barbara, I appreciate your invitations to the trivia, and I'm gonna go to them one of these freaking days. I'm just wondering when my life is gonna open up for things like fun, at night. And I'm also wondering when I'm gonna have energy where I don't want to collapse and go to sleep as soon as the sun goes down during the winter. That may never happen. Jumpmaster, actually, I like McNair too. Stand to it and give them hell type of guy. Yeah, exactly. Hennessinene, I just wrote McNair's name in my Trapper Keeper with a heart. McNair says, okay, maybe I was a bit harsh in my criticism. McNair, you criticize however you want to criticize. I can take it. Maybe you were a bit harsh. You never did. That is true. You never mentioned Hitler. I was exaggerating to make you feel bad. Hannah Sanene said, I think McNair should dress up as Martin Sheen and Matt can introduce him to everyone. Kevin says, McNair, I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend to death your right to say it. Amen, Kevin. McNair, Evander McNair was a brigade commander out west during the Civil War. There you go, McNair. McNair says, no, I knew it was a joke. Okay, good. Money had to be money to his principles and no morals, says Ghost. Marie says, I got to run, y'all. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you, Marie. Have a good one. Barbara says, I figured once it starts getting dark at 4:30, Matt. Yeah, that's when I start wanting to go to sleep. McNair, I didn't say you were a dick at all. I don't think you are a dick. Listen, I'm not one of these people who thinks that people who disagree with me should be silenced. I truly do value criticism as long as it's constructive. I wouldn't say you were being constructive, but I valued what you were saying. So, yeah, I don't think you're a dick. Listen, if I thought you were a dick, I wouldn't have wasted any time on you. James D says, I'm sorry I missed the first part of this morning's drive. The McNair discussion is epic. I know. McNair, you got to call into the show and just, since Veronica left, Bethany's a good replacement, but Bethany doesn't take such joy in ripping me a new asshole. So I think McNair, you need to just call in once a week to the show. It means you're gonna have to watch it though, and just rip me a new one. And then you and I will just go at it. You rip me. You tell me that wasn't funny because it hurt my JJ this way, and then I'll say, "Oh yeah, McNair. Well, don't McNair me today, McNair. Blah 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 blah. McNair," and the audience will love it, and you'll be a big star like Six Questions or Cam. The day AG changed forever. Aren't we all somewhat D's on an occasion? Yeah, we are. Please, when I do these videos, like at 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm the biggest dick around. I hate mornings. McNair says, I'm just glad I unmuted this. James, we're going to miss Veronica too. And I hope you'll still enjoy the show without her. And if you don't, write her an email and tell her she needs to quit that awesome job that she just got. At least take Thursdays off and offer to work Saturdays so that we could do the show with her again. But no, I think you'll like the show anyway. Don't forget, a lot of people were sad when Eric left, but the show grew. McNair says, I was cranked up on coffee. No excuses, McNair. You were being honest. You were telling me what you thought. Do not defend yourself. You do not need defending. You need to just go get a beer with me. Are you local, McNair? Somebody said, I thought, I don't remember who it was, but do you run a ghost tour or something? Because now we have another thing that we could make fun of McNair for. I like to bust balls, McNair. Okay, that's what we're doing here. Honest but a little cranky. Okay, fair enough. Just roll with it, McNair, Jumpmaster says. I got to tell you guys, I have to thank all of you for, first of all, coming to my defense in the beginning. But then when I said, no, let McNair be McNair, you guys, you were kind of teasing him and stuff and everything like that. But you're coming around with me and you're backing me up here with our olive branch to McNair, an engraved invitation to McNair. McNair. That's like an adventure show character, like MacGyver, but McNair. McNair lives about 2 hours away. Okay, but you could get here for a Get Out of the Car tour or a Christmas party on December 9th. Oh, that reminds me, I got to set up the registration. I hate ghost tours. I troll them when I'm in town. McNair! Ladies and gentlemen, let's applaud for McNair again. I want to see those clapping emojis. See, McNair, you and I have a lot more in common than you think. And I don't know about you, but I love saying your name, McNair. I never really, like, if I talk to, like, a George, I don't go, you see, George, blah, 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 blah. Okay, George? No. But with McNair, I say your name as many times as I can. Andy says we have such a great dysfunctional family. Yeah, we do. Is it dysfunctional, or are we crazy? Like, why would I spend so much time trying to welcome someone who clearly didn't like me into the fold? Oh, I know why, because it's not about me, it's about everybody. And I think that McNair will find himself Well, I do believe McNair and I will be best friends, and you will be hearing the term McNair the producer in 2 years. But um, moreover, I think McNair is depriving himself of meeting some of the finest people crawling the face of the earth by not being a part of our events. Truly, I truly do. I was saying this the other night, actually last night to Cindy. We were talking, and she said, I just have to say, I hope you're proud of yourself for this weekend, um, except for the Martin Sheen joke. You really McNaired it there. And I said, well, I don't really know. I feel good, and maybe that's pride. I'm not really sure what that feels like yet. I think I felt it a couple times in the last 2 years, but I just feel good. And why did I say? And then so we just got to talking about, and she's like listing all the things that impress her, and I said, you know what, Cindy, the one thing I am proud of, and I don't say this, ladies and gentlemen, as a ass kiss to you, but it truly is the one thing I am proud of is the people that Addressing Gettysburg has attracted through the historians and the listeners, the actors. You guys say such nice things to me, about me, and of course people don't say nice things about me, but I don't care about them. And when I see everybody at our events mingling, talking with each other, laughing, sharing books, swapping books, whatever the hell it is that you guys are doing, that's when I feel proud. I don't feel proud when I see we have 2 million total downloads. I don't feel proud when we hit 100,000 downloads a month. That if it feels good, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if pride is what I feel there, because it's all, I don't know. I don't know how to explain that, but no, people are life. Numbers, downloads and things, they represent people, but those aren't the people themselves. Seeing people, interacting with people, seeing the smile on people's faces when Lewis, for example, shares a piece of information they hadn't heard before, and you can see their face involuntarily light up because that piece of information moved them in such a way. Seeing, people making friends at our events, and when everybody's leaving, giving hugs, it's so nice to meet you, let's stay in touch, all that stuff, and then the next event they're there and they're sitting with each other and talking. That is what makes me proud, because that is life. That is what it's all about. And so McNair and anybody else like McNair who doesn't say anything or does say things, I don't care. They're welcome. They're still welcomed here, because it's not about me. Like somebody said in a comment before that, for the panel, I was a facilitator. Yeah, that's exactly how I see myself. I facilitate a connection between the historians, the town, the battlefield, and you, the listener. We're that beacon that you found that pulls you in, and then we offer these things to you. That's all I ever wanted to do, and I want to make people happy. Do I make a joke here and there? Yeah, because that's the way I've always fucking been. I joke around, and certain people always got touched off by jokes that I made, but I was always a minority of the people in the room. I would never, I have the discretion to not make a joke that, Don Rickles would make. I would never do a Don Rickles routine. Yeah. So, McNair, you are very welcome to anything that we do. Heinous Nana, that's a great idea. A McNair handshake over the wall. Let's do that. First time McNair is here, we need a third person to go and take a picture of me and McNair shaking hands, but he wears the gray. McNair says, I love that I've become a verb. Hey, man, you made yourself a verb. And I'm very happy that we jumped on it for you. AG today, the McNair minutes, like the McNair report. I love it. How about the McNair report? What if we called it that? That's great. Yeah, Marie, we're still going. We're McNair and I have fallen in love now. We have a bromance going on. McNair is happy that he's now a verb. And I went through a very touching soliloquy about how people are what it's about, not me. And McNair and anybody like McNair who shies away from what we do because they don't like me and my personality are depriving themselves of some of the finest people they'll ever meet. And yeah, you could bump into these people at other events and stuff, but it's not the same as an Addressing Gettysburg event because, well, I truly mean it when I say everybody's welcome. As long as you're not a douche. Now, notice I didn't say McNair because McNair's not a douche. We don't have a word for a douche yet except douche. McNair, we still have to really hone McNair's definition, but we'll get there, McNair. Don't worry. McNair was moved by my soliloquy. See, thank you, McNair. Thank you. And I don't want, listen, McNair, I'm not saying you're going to do this, but I don't want you to feel compelled to come back and retract what you said about Saturday with the Martin Sheen joke. Okay? I don't want you feeling bad simply because you and I are going to be best friends. We made you a verb. Stick to your guns. I accept it. I appreciate it. I still think you're wrong, just based on percentages. But I value your critique more than all of the compliments for the simple reason that it's easy to give a compliment when everybody else in the room is doing it. It's very hard, or maybe it's not very hard, but it takes something, some kind of balls, to publicly shit on something somebody did while they are in the middle of talking about what a great time they had doing it. That's a certain kind of class right there. And I tend to believe that you mean it if you're going to do that. If you're going to burst someone's bubble and rain on their parade, I think you mean it. And so therefore, I tend to value that, and I value the opinion of a paying subscriber over anything else because I believe those people mean it when they say it. And so McNair, stick to your guns. Thank you for pointing your guns at me this morning. I did take a lesson from it, and that is to never allow McNair to any public shows again. No, just kidding. Yeah. Edward thanks McNair. Marie says, I hope this will be available on replay. Yes, yeah, it will. No, I think this is a beautiful day that we had here with this discussion with McNair. Okay, good. McNair says, no, I won't. So he's not going to retract what he said. Good. I don't want you to. But I'm coming around, he said. But don't come around to the point of retraction. Apology, perhaps, for your tact. I don't feel an apology is in order at all. But whatever you feel, you do. I am accepting your criticism, and I am thanking you for it, McNair. So please don't. Just don't. Marie, Barbara, he introduced him knowing he wasn't there on Saturday. Hey, Nisanene, Barb, it was bad. I'm a little shocked still. I just didn't McNair the shit out of it. Hey, Nisanene, were you there? Why didn't you come and say hi? Because you were mad about Martin Sheen. Marie, just to watch the audience's reaction. Yeah, it was great. McNair, I did shit on that, didn't I? I don't know what you're referring to. Hey, Nene, I'm looking for Martin Sheen. I'm still looking for Martin Sheen. Oh, you poor thing. How? Okay, Barbara says AHS just posted that stolen autograph page was returned. Oh, good. ACHS just report. Good. That's good. Glad to hear that. That guy, what an asshole. McNair, that's the guy you should be going after from this weekend. Why aren't you McNairing him? Come on, McNair. You gotta learn how to properly exercise McNairing. It's named after you, for Christ's sake. Craig, go get a stiff coffee, he says. I'm gonna do that. The Ying to Matt's Yang, perhaps? I'm telling you, McNair, you don't understand. Some of the look, you and I could be the Martin and Lewis of Gettysburg podcasts. We could be the Laurel and Hardy. We could be the Peaches and Herb. Okay, the Captain and Tennille McNair. How about we'll call ourselves the General and the McNair, and we'll go around, and you'll just always disagree with me, and never laugh. McNair didn't McNair the shit out of it. See, look at that. He loves it. And I'm telling you, there's something to this name, McNair, as a verb. Don't you McNair me at my own party, or, oh, nice of you to come in and McNair my wedding. Kevin says, so, McNair, are you a Sheen fan? I think we're all Sheen fans. Who doesn't like Marty Sheen? Andy says, I feel like I need another coffee. I got to get some honest energy that McNair has. Yeah, I got to get some of that too. Jumpmaster, this is going to blow up. I think McNair is going to enter the lexicon, not just of addressing Gettysburg, but of the world. Okay, it's going to be in the Urban Dictionary soon. That's why we need to really come up with a concise definition of what it means to McNair. And then we got to come up with a dance, the McNair. Do the McNair, and then we'll do it at the Christmas party in our ugly Christmas sweaters. But you can only do the McNair while wearing an ugly Christmas sweater, no matter what time of year it is, no matter what the occasion. McNair says, I saw that paper laying there and couldn't believe that. Oh, look, another thing we agree on, McNair. I actually thought it was fake or something. Like, I didn't think it was the real thing. I couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe they left it on the table with autographs on it. I picked it up and looked at it and laid it back down. I also couldn't believe it wasn't in some kind of like protective plastic or something like that. Jerry says he's coming around. There you go. McNair, glad they found the creep. Me too. Ghost, the court. So here's the thing. Okay, McNair, here's what I was worried about. I'll tell you. And I told this to John. John's a friend of mine. We were talking yesterday as things were winding down at the museum, and we were talking about the theft. And I said, I'm so happy that they had video of the guy. And I said, because I was worried I was going to get blamed for it. And he goes, why? And I said, well, because I brought you up at the panel, which I think everybody has done, because all the actors have given John something. I said, I brought you up at the panel, and I said, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, all his stuff is downstairs. So after this panel, we're all going to go down and swipe it all, which has been a running joke on the show, that I am going to go break into his house and steal the stuff, which he's fully aware of. And he knows I'm joking. But I saw that on Facebook, and I almost evacuated my bowels, because I was like, oh my God, if this guy was at our panel. So I showed the picture to Cindy. I said, Cindy, do you recognize this yellow hat? Was this guy at the panel? And she didn't recognize him. And she couldn't say for sure yes or no. But I was like, if that guy's at the panel and he's going to turn around and go, well, Matt said we should go swipe it. I'm like, and he laughed, and he goes, dude, even if that was what he did, he's like, he still went and did it. And so that's what I was worried about, McNair. See, isn't it funny? That's where I think I stepped in it. was doing that. Not a joke. Well, it was a joke, but that was an irresponsible joke. Because you never know who's listening. I'm loving this here. Let's see. We got some titles of things coming in here. Let's see. I feel like okay, this is gonna blow up. Okay, McNair, I saw the paper. He's coming around. Glad they found the creep. Yep. Okay, courtship of McNair's Matt. Let me tell you about my best friend. We want your autograph now, McNair. Yeah, McNair, when you come to town next, please let me know. We'll get a beer and I'll bring you to the studio. I want you to sign the Wall of Fame. And it's a long panel. And maybe it's about 5 feet tall or something like that. And in the middle of it, I wrote Wall of Fame, and everybody, because it's easier to get to, has signed it above the words Wall of Fame. I want you to have one of the first signatures right below the words Wall of Fame, and I want you to sign it very nice and big, McNair, because we're going to turn you into you're going to be a star, my friend. And one day at my funeral, you're going to get up there and you're going to be teary and you're going to be like, I met Matt because I hated him and I thought he was the biggest asshole in the world. He got my hopes up, thinking Martin Sheen was at the Adams County Historical Society. But he turned me around. He made me a verb. The reason RFK Stadium is now called McNair Stadium is because of Matt and because of me. And I can't believe he's gone. I owe so much to this guy. My life completely changed when he made me McNair the producer on Addressing Gettysburg. And I say 2 years from now, McNair, because I got to build up to the point where I can afford to hire somebody. They found the guy, McNair. They found the guy. He apparently, they knew who he was right away because they had camera and he had signed something and they went and looked and, what an idiot. But they contacted him and they said, return it in 24 or 48 hours or whatever, or we'll press charges and we won't press charges, whatever. And I guess he did. I just want to know what he was thinking. Hey, Hazel, how are you? What happened was a guy, okay, there was the cover of an original script with all the actors' autographs on it was on a table next to a uniform jacket that was used in the movie, and they were both being auctioned off for the museum. Some guy swiped the cover with the autographs, and they had him on camera, and they got it back. Everything's okay. Please repeat the Sheen joke. Oh, it wasn't a joke. It was a prank at the expense of the audience. So this is how you get people to love you. You get them to hate you first, and then they love you. So what I did was I asked Bo and Joseph Fuqua about what it was like to work with Martin Sheen. And they both told stories about what a nice guy he is and how helpful he was and this and that and the other thing. And I had, as they started answering, I had an idea. At the end of the answers, let me pretend that Martin Sheen is our surprise guest and bring him out. And then thank God, Bo, in his answer, said the word surprise. He goes, Marty really surprised me one day or something like that. And I was like, oh, good. Now, please just end this soon so that we don't get too far away from the word surprised so that the audience doesn't get too far away from it too. Yeah, see, that's what's going on in my head, McNair. I'm trying to craft this and time it. I can't be thinking about taste. So, all right. So then Bo finishes his question and I go, I take a pause and I'm like, well, sounds like Mr. Sheen is a man full of surprises and he's got yet another one for us, ladies and gentlemen, Martin Sheen. And I point to the door where we walked out of and people gasped. Some people got to their feet. People started clapping. They all stared. And then I said, no, I'm just kidding. And then they booed, and I had a great time. And it'll be on video. You can go and judge it for yourself. McNair did not like that. Bo what is it? Bowearable? Bowearable? Is that how you say it? Um, McNair didn't like that, and he told me that I was an awful person. I didn't deserve love or life or breath, and I should go to hell, and I should lose everything I have because that was not a good joke. It hurt his feelings. He felt like a fool, and I think I know why. There was somebody in the audience who went, and I think it was McNair, and I think that was an involuntary noise that he made, and it embarrassed him. And then when it wasn't Martin Sheen, then it was like, oh my God, you made me make that involuntary noise, and he wasn't even here. I hate you. I think that's really what happened with McNair. So we've been talking with McNair the last 138 minutes and 55 seconds, and it's fun. Jumpmaster, homework. Who McNaired whom during the actual battle? See, that's good. I like this. We're getting into McNairisms. All right, they probably saw me pick it up, but I put it down again. Oh, it wasn't you, McNair. If it was you, McNair, you're onto something, Jumpmaster. Renaming Channing's Barlow to McNair's Knoll. That's got such a better ring to it, doesn't it? Or Channing Barlow's Knoll, excuse me. Hannah Sinene said, after a big meal and coffee, I offered McNair. Longstreet got McNaired. Remake Step Brothers, but with McNair replacing Will Ferrell and Matt replacing John C. Reilly. Can we do it the other way around? Yeah, that'll be good. Step McNairs. McNair will sign the Wall of Fame. You better sign it. McNair says, what an idiot. Thanks for the update. Well, you call me an idiot and then you thank me for the update? Jesus. Don't do Sheen again, he says. Oh, God, you did it. Sorry. Ghost of Sickles like, epic prank. Of course it's an epic prank. Jumpmaster, LOL, making McNair sound like Charles Manson. Well, this is what you get, you know. Kevin says, yes, he did McNair now. He did McNair. Now we have to start this over. I know. Anybody else who asked, you got to go back and watch it. Believe me, you'll like this one. This was a good one. Except, well, maybe I don't know. We have McNair. Was this a good one overall, or do you give this 2 McNair thumbs up or 2 McNair thumbs down? Yes, let's see. Okay, wow, McNair, a real harsh response. You said out loud what we all think about Matt. McNair says, no, that wasn't me. I didn't gasp. I rolled my eyes. Oh, you did not. You gasped. It wasn't a gasp. You went, it was an involuntary, like when you get tickled. McNair's Knoll. That is a good one. The McNair dance looks like the Freddy. Look it up, folks. No, the idiot who stole the thing is who I was calling an idiot, not you. Ah, we've turned a corner. I remember Freddy. That's a good match. I have to look that one up. Guys, I've had such a fun time with you today, and it's all thanks to McNair. I got to tell you, well, all of you, really, but McNair, you really kicked this one up a notch for us. I truly, McNair, send me an email, Matt at Addressing Gettysburg. I want to get a dialogue going, and I definitely, next time you're here, I want to have a beer with you. I don't know why. I just always have so much more respect. Not so much more respect, but I have a very quick, that's what I should say, a quick respect for people who just McNair me. When I get McNaired by somebody, I'm like, I got to know this person. That's who I want to have around me, somebody who McNairs me. That's why Veronica and I get along so well. She invented McNairing before it had a term. And I appreciate that. So McNair, you are a number one in my book, my friend. I'm telling you. Really, truly, a number one in my book. Top of the heap, king of the hill, a number one. These McNair blues. Oh, it's shoes. God damn it. Later, folks. McNair, cheers. There you go, Jumpmaster. See you later. Andy, I love this and meeting McNair. He's a good fellow. It made my week to see this come together. Me too. McNair says, thanks, I'll be performing all week. Ghost says, good day to all, but thanks, McNair. Become a part of this dysfunctional and dynamic family. Seriously, McNair, please do. Jerry says, kudos to McNair. Everybody, you are the best. I love the way you treated McNair, and that you came with me when I tried to treat him like a human being. And I wish we could all do that more every day to everybody around us, but it's hard to do. But thank you for doing it today. Thank you, McNair. Don't forget, Matt at Address in Gettysburg. Send me an email. And then, of course, McNair, you know that eventually you're going to do it, so you might as well do it now. Go to patreon.com/Address in Gettysburg and become a patron today. All right, everybody. You're the best. I'll see you next time. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.